There's been, you know, quite a bit of intense moments so far, but it's been really good overall. Out of all the boats that we've ever had, she just rides so comfortably.
As the sun tucks itself in and Garrett catches up with his dad, we share a couple sundowners and watch the pelicans dive all around us for their supper.
It's highs and lows. It's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of, you know, a lot of days where you're just like, why the hell am I doing this with my life? And then, like, you know, get to that point where it pays off. It's just like, oh, this is why.
We stayed 2 nights in Paradise Cove so I could edit episode 196. But once I was done, we too were done with this anchorage. 3 ferry routes pass by the cove.
You're trying to lay in bed to fall asleep and you're getting waked out by ferries. And then you get a little bit of sleep and then you get rudely woken up by ferry wakes.
Paradise Cove is a beautiful spot. But the ferry wakes, my goodness.
It's a little ridiculous.
Needless to say, we were looking forward to our next anchorage. Angel Island should be nice and protected because it's, well, here we go. It's so bad for Garrett, unfortunately, because he's still on just hyper alert. Every little noise, every little sound, and with these wakes coming through, he's just been up pretty much constantly for the last 2 days. It'll be nice to be in a spot that's not supposed to be so affected by all of just the bay traffic. Alright, I'm gonna go finish the rest of my coffee before this ferry wake hits. There he is. I think it's just about 2 miles, and we're going here to Ayala Cove. And this is Raccoon Strait, and because it's such a tight channel right there, when the current or the tide is flowing one way or the other, if you're going the opposite direction that is, it is one hell of a feat to get through. We've got just a couple minutes to low tide, so the tide will be opposing us as we're coming in, but we're not going too far, and hopefully we can catch it at slack. Garrett readied our bow and stern line, making sure we had enough length for the moorings ahead.
Oh, there's the gate!
Red Aviva's very first view of the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh, that's pretty freaking cool.
There she is. Gateway to the south.
But we're gonna be here for the weekend. Garrett was just giving me the rundown of how we're gonna pick up our mooring, which is our first ever mooring to pick up on Red Aviva. and we're pretty sure it's bow and stern in here, and everyone's bow is facing north. So I'm gonna be in the dinghy. Our boat hook is now our depth sounder until we fully hook up our GPS and to the transducer that is already installed in the hull. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Wrong. I think this is a lane, these two yellows, yeah. So that's how it's going.
It's a bit of a tight turn, so.
Need me to row to it?
Yeah, you might as well.
Tied off to our forward ball, and Garrett's making fast the stern. But there's the shore, and that's where the ferry comes in. And you can also pull into these docks, and then these moorings have an overnight fee. First mooring ball.
It's like 3 or 4 boats in here this morning.
Yeah,
at least.
At least.
There's 2 when we came in. They
Yeah.
both bailed as soon as we got here. I guess they stink or something. I mean, we have been out on the hook for over a week.
Yeah. We probably are a little smelly.
Our first 5 days is at China Camp, which is the muddiest place ever. You can tell by our dinghy. It's a new mud paint job.
Yes. And there's some weird, like, sticky stuff that got on it. And it, like...
I was talking about that?
Yeah. It'll, like, dye your feet and fingers red.
Yeah, we need to try to clean that off.
Yeah. You can... It's, like, just back here. And then in the very front of the bow. We're hoping that the convenience store will not be inconvenient and be closed. And maybe we can get a beer. I'm also at a half and half. Yeah. Best view.
We've done it.
This is all Garrett wanted.
we have done it.
Okay.
We have succeeded.
After this, we're going for a hike.
Yeah, totally. Cheers.
Alright, so I got Garrett to come hiking with me, which he hates.
Walking aimlessly towards no direction for no point.
There are tons of vistas and things to see along the way. Like, look how cool that redwood tank is. Okay, hiking might not be Garrett's thing, but seeing the boat from the top, he'll admit, is pretty cool.
So this is kind of another exciting moment. It's the very first Anchor Out Instant Pot carnitas, and I wanted to start this a little bit earlier in the day so we had like really solid sun coming into the solar panels, because I've never run it off the inverter on board, but it's like, you know, almost 4:30 or something like that right now, but we still got decent sun and decent charge coming in, but the solar panels seem to be keeping up with it. It is going. A 2.5 pound pork shoulder in there right now, which would take forever to cook on the stove, to kind of slow cook it, and it would use a ton of propane. And if we can just use solar, take our power from the sun, run it through the inverter and run this thing, it's like we're not using any fuel. So that's pretty awesome. That's exciting to just be trying these different systems now that we're, you know, back full-time cruising and living on the boat. So now we get to try things out, just like living stuff, you know, not just working stuff.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Look where we are.
Backyard's not too shabby either.
Yeah. Ayala Cove and Angel Island, and it is absolutely beautiful day. And I'm so happy to not have all those ferry wakes, because I didn't sleep much the last couple of nights. Paradise Cove is absolutely beautiful, but bring a flopper stopper. You stay overnight. And I'm really not one to be sensitive for rolly anchorages. I kind of like it when it's, you know, a bit rolly. It's like being rocked to sleep, but damn, that was a little much.
She's so naked without her spar. The real reason we are here is to celebrate Rio's birthday. Night Runner is headed to Mexico too this year, once her rig's back on board, and we can't wait to buddy boat down the coast. I've been waiting for this moment to be moored next to Memo and Lindsay. Heck yeah.
We've never had our boat out at the same time.
Sauce masters, and I think I'm gonna need both. I gotta do a little Memo sauce, and then I have to do a little Garrett sauce.
That Garrett sauce is amazing. You killed it, bud. It's really special, man.
Get the theme of the party and showed up in pirate costume.
They look yummy.
Oh. All right, I think we did Angel Island proper. Happy Father's Day, Memo! And what does this dad want to do? Sail. Heather runs a charter out of Sausalito on her vessel Caradon, appropriately named A Fine Day for Sailing. After securing Rediviva to the bay floor, we head to shore in search of a few parts. We're so grateful for Heather letting us tie up at her slip. She is truly worth her salt, rooted in the maritime community here and one of the most generous people we've met. We hoof it to Water Street Hardware, but strike out, so we grab a bite to eat with a view of Rediviva and some good music. Then find our way to the Walmart of marine goods to find what we're looking for. We thought we were out of luck, which is just a pain because we walked twice as far to come here, and it was just tucked behind other fittings, and we found one. So we're good to go.
Sweet.
Now we're gonna find flares. It is Monday, and we are gonna do a boat project. It is Monday. Garrett's challenging me. We're gonna work on the main running backs today. Essentially attach them to the davit arms, which are now reinforced, and that way we can do a little stronger sea trials, stronger winds for some sea trials. And it is just gorgeous out here. Quite a difference today than yesterday, which was the weekend and Father's Day. It was so crazy busy out here, and today there's just a handful of boats. It'd be perfect to go out for a sail, but we're also feeling, since we've had so many stronger winds as of late, that we're going to go ahead and focus on doing the running backs so we don't have to be super concerned about that. Since we're gaff rigged, we can't have a standing backstay to support the mast, so we have to fashion some running backs. Decks are getting a little bit toasty. Might go ahead and rinse them down while Garrett's brushing up on his splicing in there.
I hardly ever use Dyneema. I've always been more of a 3-strand kind of guy, but so I rarely splice this stuff, so I always have to do like a little brush up on it, like, oh yeah, okay, that's how you do it. It's very, very easy to do. So, yeah. So this is like off-road Dyneema winch spool, and so that's why it comes with this big tow hook and stuff. And I don't know how long this was, like 100 feet, 150 feet or something like that. But anyway, yeah, it's the same stuff, but it's a fraction of the cost. So it doesn't have a boat on the label. The Ratlins are very safe for normal up and down, and very convenient and easy, and I see absolutely no need to wear a harness for normal use of the Ratlins. That's what your hands are for. But for doing stuff like this, where I'm going to be way up to the mast top, or the mast head, and I'm going to be using both my hands, seizing on wire, doing shackles and stuff, and there's not as much to hold on to all the way at the top. So for this kind of stuff, I do wear a harness.
You got your tools tethered there to you?
Yep.
Yeah, they're jamming out for something. Oh, another one.
Okay, let me go up the mast.
All right. They said something about a paddleboarder. Garrett made a bracket out of 1/8" Dyneema, and it's not going anywhere. Alright, so just pull that out from under the aft deck here. It's where we got all of our materials stored. All here is full. Is this the last part? You just
for the starboard.
cut and burn that?
Yeah.
Alright.
Let's see if this will work itself out. Oh yeah.
Starboard running back
Starboard running back.
until we do the through deck.
Which, who knows? Maybe we'll never do it.
It's pretty solid.
This is a pretty solid attachment point.
Yeah.
So,
It's kind of
the way this is tied into everything.
yeah. It's all spider webbed, and this back corner of the boat is so strong.
Yeah.
It's like so many things going in, and like how everything's framed in below the deck. Yeah. Especially now with the bars on the davits.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the davit arm and then these support bars Garrett quickly put in before we left the dock, which we haven't really talked about actually.
Oh, yeah. We were so busy to leave the dock and get things done that, like, I don't even think I filmed any of it, to
No.
be honest. Like, I spent the day at the scrap yard and got the materials and just kind of slammed it together, and like, I'm so stoked with it.
Yeah.
The davits are so strong.
So strong. Yeah, bounce on them there a little. We can go sailing.
Not quite.
Well, on a port tack.
We have to repeat this whole process one more time.
It doesn't get much nicer than this in San Francisco. We're having such a successful day, just cruising to some music, and the running back's actually done. I've been organizing down below and Garrett doesn't need a hand. This is our score from yesterday. We needed to replace the fuel fitting on the outboard.
I'm gonna switch this fuel fitting out. I'll probably take this one and try to pull that little O-ring out of it and see if I can jam a new O-ring in there. So I'll have this in the future for a spare. Haven't installed yet, so hopefully I'll get around to that one of these days when we're bobbing around on anchor, when I get bored of drinking tequila and sitting in the sun.
Fat chance. Sophia, my mom used to drink these at my soccer practice games. Look at him, cricket legs.
Walk faster so it's over sooner. So we can go back to the boat and make tacos.
Such a little turd. How'd you get the frank above the beans, or the beans above the frank?
How the hell did you get the beans above the frank? I mean, I don't know. It wasn't like it was a well thought out plan.
You see nothing? Yeah, you saw nothing. There's nothing to see.